What's up, everybody, and welcome back. Holy shit, it's May and we're still inside. Not only that, but it was hailing this morning. Have a look. Anyway, I'm here today because I'm gonna make a shelving unit for a friend of mine. She saw something on Wayfair, decided it was cool, and asked me if I can make it better. So we're gonna try. First things first, we gotta start with the steel. I decided to spare you from all of the cuts that I made. This is one of the 45-degree cuts that I had to make for this project. There are tons of angles in this shelving unit, which I'll get into in a second. As you can see, the blade gets a little bit stuck and we have to start over, and it's fine. It's all good. So first things first, we're going to start making these metal bases. As you can see, we've got a height of 6 feet. We've got a top dimension of 16 inches and a bottom dimension of 24 dimensions, which means angles. So, as much as I love angles, sometimes it's better to just try things in place. We've got a 45-degree angle at the top and bottom. This is our short leg, and that's our long leg. So what I actually did was mark these pieces of metal and then laid a long bar across it to figure out what the angle is. Turns out, over 6 feet, and yes, I could have used trigonometry for this, but I don't remember much of that, and frankly, Sokotoba makes me nervous. I laid a bar across it and I just marked it. So it turns out, as I said, to be about 13 degrees. And you can see that it matches up pretty nice for a very weldable seam. So we're gonna start there. Catch up with you in a minute. So 90% of getting a good weld is actually setting it up properly. So as you can see, what I've got is one of these 45-degree magnets, as well as a straight edge to make sure that I'm getting that exactly right. Because, you know, as good as a bandsaw is, sometimes it's not perfect. So we do our best, and we grind the rest. So what you're seeing here is me actually just welding up all the seams that I've got left. I'm just kind of flipping the metal around. And this is kind of important to do because what you really should do when you're welding things like this, when you're trying to get a frame relatively straight, is to spread the heat around so that it doesn't pull in any one direction. Not the band. And this is what it looks like when you put two of them together. So right now, what I got to do is cut a bunch of metal to make the shelf brackets. And oh, what a pain in the ass this was. Each rail is obviously a different size. They needed to be marked individually and then doubled up to do it on the other side. But it was fine. It was fine. Here's our shell. We got all the, I don't even know what to call these. I guess we're just going to call them shelf supports. Welded in. Everything is at a 7-degree rake, not 13. I was reading my bandsaw wrong. That's my fault. Apologies. However, this is more or less how it's going to sit. It's going to have 2 articulating hinges in the back, maybe 3. This is pretty tall. And that way it can open up, but it's going to be fixed in place with the shelves that we do create. This is supposed to sit in the corner, as you can probably tell. And next time you see me, it'll be painted. And we're going to start doing some of that woodwork. All right, so I changed my mind a little bit. Sue me. Instead of doing hinges at the back here, I figured since it's just going to sit in a corner, instead what I did was I actually just welded on some angle iron to get this thing to hold its perfect 90-degree shape. Now it's time to make some shells. So you're just seeing me do the glue up. I did a couple of these for this project. I obviously planed and jointed these boards already, but you've seen me do that before, so there's really no point in me showing you again. C-clamps are just to keep everything straight, and no biscuits, just glue. What's up again there, people? Just wanted to show you our woodworking and the kind of wood that I'll be using for the shelving in this particular project. This is spalted maple. As you can see, the spalting sort of runs through here. What it actually is that when the maple tree falls down, it actually starts to rot and petrify, so you get these cool like black streaks through it. And you can also see a lot of worminess in it. as well. There's some bugs that were living in there at some point. Anyway, what you just saw me do was glue up one of the panels. The way that it works on this particular project is that we've got essentially 4 triangles that are used as the shelving. So what I'm going to do is glue them up in 2 square sections and then rip them on the diagonal. So we're gonna let this glue dry, and then we're gonna start sanding. We're gonna do one more glue up, and then yeah, we're gonna cut them and put them in place. Stay tuned. So after staring at my table saw for a little while and deciding that that was a terrible idea on how to cut this thing, I instead just used a speed square and my skill saw and just followed the line that I had traced with the pencil. And it was fairly easy. I mean, obviously you got to go pretty slow. For one, this skill saw blade is not the sharpest anymore, and for another, I don't know, following a speed square can be a little bit sketchy, to be perfectly frank. But either way, it worked out all right. And as you'll see next, once everything got sized down properly, it fits quite nicely. It looks like a grilled cheese sandwich right there, you know? And there we have it. That's with no brackets, but they're coming. You'll see. As you can see, we have all of our shelves neatly in place. The way I did these brackets is I actually just took some of those figure 8 fasteners and used some self-tapping screws to get into the bottom of it, and then hung it over the edge. So this will allow for a little bit of wood movement, hopefully, if we leave them a little bit on the looser side. Gave all of these edges a round over, as you just saw on the router table. You can see we got quite a bit of burnout here, but you can also see some really cool figuring in it as well. So we're just going to do a finish sand, get these things ready for finish, and paint the base. Let's do it. So here's the metal base after we finished painting it. Just did it with a matte black. You've seen me do that before, so, pretty much shake the rattle can, press the button on the top, try to take light passes. Don't be an idiot about it. Here's the piece when it's actually finished, all put together. Simple oil-based poly on that, spalted maple. And here are some glam shots from inside the home of the person who bought it from me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe and share and do all that fun stuff. And we'll catch you on the next one.